Hello and welcome to day 26 of my 365-day iPhone video challenge. Straight up, this is now the most important video I've recorded. It is my model of the brain, and it is my model that I've been working on the last 12 years that I believe is why you get stressed and depressed and suffer from anxiety and don't achieve the things you want in life. So it's the most important video to date. I'm a bit scared sharing it, but this is the video I would ask you that if you do like, please share, please comment, please click like, because this is the big one. It's based on four things. One, I spent 10 years working in the pharmaceutical industry in sales and marketing, and under that time you get trained in a lot of things, and one of the things we got trained in a lot was the brain and how it affects the body. Two, I took a £1 bet to become a stand-up comic, and over that period when I did the one-man show at Edinburgh, I became aware of a concept called the editor, which is the voice in our head. Three, I've suffered two bouts of depression in my life, one in my late 30s, one in my early 40s. The late 30s one was the big one, the early 40s was much less because of the things I had learned, but the thing that caused the event has had probably a major impact on my life. Four, brain imaging and neuroscience has really come to the fore over the last 10 years. I've spent a lot of time reading and researching, and that's helped develop the concept. So there we go. Now, I am going to talk about three areas of the brain. Now, there's loads of areas in the brain, but I'm going to just break them down into three big areas to make this quick and simple. One, we're going to talk about the limbic system. The limbic system deals with emotions and memory, and it is also considered the first bit of your brain to evolve, to develop as a baby, and it's also considered, I think, the oldest part of the brain. I'm not so sure about that, but anyway, the limbic system, and it contains the amygdala, the hippocampus, and the hypothalamus. So that's the first bit. It's also, because it's the emotional bit of your brain, it's where the editor resides. Two, I'm then going to talk about the autonomic nervous system. This is the automatic bit of your brain that it's broken into two areas, parasympathetic and sympathetic. I'm just going to focus on the sympathetic bit, which is the fight or flight response. So let's just go with that for a moment. And then the third bit, the final bit of your brain, the last bit of your brain to develop is the prefrontal cortex, which is where all the rational thoughts go on. So those are the three bits of your brain. So let's talk about high stress situation. You're at work and a bear bursts through the door. You see it, it sends a signal to your limbic system, with your amygdala, specifically in the first bit of your brain, and goes, there's a bear! And you think, crikey, and that sends a message to your hypothalamus, which sends a message to the autonomic nervous system, specifically the sympathetic system, which is the fight or flight response, to get the hell out. What that does is it shunts a ton of adrenaline into your system. What that adrenaline then does, gets puts your blood pressure up, puts your heart rate up, sends all that blood to the muscles because you've got to run, fight or flight. It shunts blood away from your stomach, which is why you can get butterflies in a stressful situation, or in a really stressful situation, you can crap yourself. There you go, I've said it. What it also does, it shunts blood away from the prefrontal cortex, the rational bit of your brain, because at that moment, the rational bit of your brain is not needed. You not need to think, well, there's a bear there. I wonder how that got there. That bear looks quite fat and slow. Perhaps it only runs at 10 miles an hour. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care. What your brain is doing is get the hell out of the room. It is taken over. Your emotional bit of your brain and your autonomic nervous system have taken over. You are gone. That's what you have to do. Now, that's what happens in a high stress situation, and that sympathetic system is firing all the time because we are in not as maybe a stressful situation as the bear, but in other stressful situations, which I will talk about tomorrow. But it fires adrenaline, it shuts down the rational bit of your brain. So when we're stressed and the adrenaline is going on, actually we are incapable of rational thought and talking ourselves out of it, which is why maybe, was it Serena Williams at the US Open had that emotional outburst? Because in that high stress situation, the adrenaline flowed and it shut down the possible rational bit of her brain, and the emotional brain took over. This is really important. This is my whole thing. If you like it, if you want to share it, please do. And I'll go on. I'll give you much more depth again tomorrow. See you soon. Bye.